first plasma power generator, which means an independent generation of the electricity in a small way, and then addition to it. During the process, you hear a lot of beeping. And this is, in a way, what we are looking for. That beeping is when the what we call inverter comes in to fill up the what we call the batteries, and then it stops. And this shows that the system is rechargeable. Then it becomes permanent. This machine has been running for 2 or 3 days, and in the process of past days, it has continuously generated to keep at 0.3 kilowatts of energy. The same will be showed in Tehran. And we go through that on its own. The teaching of the process is being all the time with us. We have always taught it, but we could not explain it to many of you. The first plasma technology generator, which means this can be extended to 1 to 2 kilowatts freestanding. When we call it a freestanding generator, it means does not need anything else to supply it. It works by itself. It's a plasma that lasts for years, and no one has managed to deliver this independent. We depend on the solar system. We depend on also chemical reactions. For the first time, what we promised now has been built, and you can see the generator. And the beauty of this is like in Tehran. If you remember, you could hear the bleep, and when the bleep came, there was the end of the process. We have the same inverter process here. This is the characteristic of the inverter, not our system. But I'm sure in the coming weeks and months, this inverter process with the bleeping and cutting off will go out of the system. But it's good to hear that bleeping. In Tehran, we saw when it bleeped, it stopped, we cannot generate. This system shows it bleeps, it stops because of the inverter, and then it comes back on again, which means inverter confirms production of the AC from a DC source, from the plasma source, and this changes the game of energy production. You can put this anywhere in the world. You are not temperature, environment, sunshine, or what we call natural gases. You hear it, it's gone off now in the background. It bleeps, and it comes back on. Can we go on that camera, please, to show the system? This is the system. You can hear it. You can see the light, one light on. Then we see the second light coming on, bleeping. The inverter has produced, and we can see the fridge lit. This is the beauty with this technology. We take the bleeper out, what we call a transformer, from a DC plasma to AC current. You have a permanent supply of energy, and this has never been done in the world of science. There is no moving part. There is no dimensions in changing or adding, and the process can run for years. It can be multiplied to different currents and voltages. I'll leave it to Klaus to explain, to show, and then we carry on with the breakthrough in what we call the world of science.
Hello, everyone. It's an honor to explain how this device works roughly. We finished it like this short time ago. It is a system like it is here in a very big box. It is because we still have all our instruments inside and all the devices we needed to set it up. So this is definitely not the end size of the device. Can be much smaller. But we just left it, we boxed it, that we can move on, like as Mr. Keshe said, with this improvement concerning the beeping, where we have already the solution, but we literally didn't have the time to build it in the very short time. How it stands here is delivering 300 watt continuously in a balance with the devices which are plugged in, which means if I have a control on my mobile phone, an app, and it shows the constant going down, going up of the delivery of the voltage for the fridge in this case, and for the lights. The main content is, of course, the technology and the knowledge which came from Mr. Keshe, that we developed the possibility to kick into universal energies. And this kicking in is one of the most, I would say, emotional moments I had in the foundation, because you literally feel when you can explain it like open the window and leave this fresh air in, this energy in, and this energy is kicking into the cables, the coils, and this is a process like it was explained here when there was this blinking of the lights. There is a window open and fresh air and fresh energy comes in, and then it builds up again. At the control device, you can see this continuously going up and down of the voltage, of the power of the energy, which is coming in a plasma state and is being converted in the generator to electrical energy that we can use it here with more or less any device. What is interesting, when we just pasted, we just came from our this is the process of kicking in. Interestingly, when we brought the device here just half an hour ago, it needed about 7, 8, 9 times, let's say, to pump in the energy. Now it was already 3, 4 times, which means it's building up again. Energy is building up again. The window is more and more open. Yeah. The fridge, yeah. The fridge is on now. It's cool. The light is on, yeah. Can the light be seen? Okay. Of course, there are nowhere cables. This is, how can we show it with the fixed camera is not easy, but yeah, it's on wheels, yeah. So we, yeah.
That's it.
Here's just a connection from the fridge with the extended cable.
Supported. We can control the time of this conversion and we can stabilize it to a full system. There you can see it. And the process will go on. That continuous generation is there. This blipping has nothing to do with the plasma production. This blipping is to do with our inverter, which is made, I think, in Korea. And it will bring that change in. And it's the beauty of this process, which means inverter is flat, the battery are flat, but the system has a charging capability to support. And as we see, the fridge is back on again. This is, for the first time, that the process has become stable, knowledge understood, and has delivered to what we said. And you can have the condition, as we saw in Tehran, with a plasma unit, or you can have a freestanding generator. It lasts most probably as long as your grandchild does, if the pieces stand, and how it will be shown. Klaus has got to tell you something.
There is one thing. Next time when it starts blinking, if you are watching this LED light, this shows that the voltage is always there before the inverter. So it's not that it just cracks down and nothing is here. It is just the
So as long
inverter
as that
setting.
blue light stays on, it shows the battery is charged.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So now we see for the first time the plasma generator, and it can be scaled up to megawatts. With this process is what we call continuous. But what we've done, if you go on the Keshe Foundation website, we have broken it into 0 to 3 kilowatt, 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatt. But it's something new with the Keshe Foundation. These units are going for sale. And up to now, you bought something from the Keshe Foundation that was yours. With this comes a contractual fee, annual fee, which allows us to build up for the Keshe Foundation a lasting income, not just one sold. It works out very cheap. It works out about €1 per week, more or less, depending on the consumption. And if you go any further, it builds up to more. So in a way, instead of paying hundreds of dollars per month, now you reduce it just $1 a month. The process started most of you around 2014, 15, we showed you. Now is a commercial product, which means the technology is proven. It's not theory anymore. It's not a knowledge anymore. It's a technology delivered, continuous deliverance. And you got to realize most of us, we don't use more than 300 watts to 600 watts during the day. Unless we do cooking, unless we heat up or cool down during the summertime. And as you see, the light is still on, which means the battery is at 26.2, 6.3 volts. Is the inverter that detects the droppage, calls on the plasma to fill it up, to charge it up, and then charges it up, and it kicks into the next system. The system built up for the commercial side takes this part of the inverter out of the proposition. Yes.
I could show if you want.
Yes.
The controller.
Yeah.
Because 26.6, can you see this? Is this visible? Yeah. 26.6 is our balanced situation. The plasma kicked in. Now you see 26.57 and it loads up again. 26.58 takes some minutes to charge. Now it's at 26.8. Jumps already to 0.9. So it means it's charging now. So 26.6. This is the balance. Sometimes it goes to 26.61 and 2, but 26.6 is the balance of this system with 300 watt continuously supplying. Next time if it kicks in, I can show the same again. This goes on and on and on. And it does not go lower than 26.6 in the balanced situation.
The fridge is open. We can run this during the whole process. We can leave this one for months and months to come. You can work on an AC, or if you run it in the car, you don't need the AC conversion. You can work on a DC. And this is what we call a change in the game, where we use the edge of science and technology and knowledge. And I'm sure in the next few months, the size of this unit will be maybe smaller than the refrigerator in front of you. We are using the plasma in a room condition. We have not brought the knowledge of a nuclear plasma for a space into this game. This, if we bring nuclear plasma technology into this, which no instrument today has the capability to detect it, I'll produce megawatts out of this box. This is a pure, natural plasma process, and it gives you what you need. Implication of this box, and what we showed in Tehran, production of hydrogen, and what you will see in the third Keshe Foundation, what we call live energy system, finishes the oil industry, finishes the power generation industry. If you give me $30 billion or euros to build one nuclear reactor, which costs today, and then all the problems with it, all the Fukushima problems, all the 3 Mile Island with it, I can give you enough system that can literally supply a nation. It's rather important for all of us to understand the implication of what was shown last Monday and today. We saw the extension of use of energy, where the fridge, and again 300-500 watts, was extended by 3-4 times. Adding that system to this system, understanding the work of the two, we need very few systems like this to supply a village, supply a town. That we show the technology in its stage in Iran and in the second stage here. That technology is held by no nation. We have a freedom. It shows the knowledge is being shared by 2 independent groups of the Keshe Foundation, and we can move this one on to other positions. But this cannot be scaffolded. They cannot kill a scientist to do. Too many people know how to do it. And the expansion and rapid application will bring us that change. What is important with this is you look at it as a light. You look at it as the structure in front of you. I'm not interested in this, because this unit, this technology, backs into that technology. These are the space reactors, what we needed to be able to produce materials and to create what we call the enhancement units work. So what you see here, you're happy to get. I needed this to make an independent power supply into the flight system, which many of you are coming to test in the past 4 or 5 weeks. Every time, Tuesday, Wednesday, we get about 10 of you. Is the plasma energy fields, which allows us to run the new plasma enhancement flight units. This is power supply for it, which we had to show it for us this way, that you don't think there is something behind. It's a consumption. And as I said, you're interested in the electric side of it. Our flight system runs on the plasma side of it. And in that process, allows us to create the condition of the flight. When we release this technology, we don't rely on governments to support us. We rely on the strength of the whole wealth of the knowledge of the and the wealth of the Keshe Foundation. Then you understand, we will structure the whole, what we call the production of the new systems on a new way, our way, that every factory will be across this planet, that no nation will be depending on the other. And then collectively, we bring the new science and the application of it, be it on the energy, on transportation, on food, and the rest. Do we need to use the fertilizers and contaminate the land for centuries? We don't need to anymore. If you understand the process of this, we will show you how this can be done. And do we need even to produce materials to use as fertilizer or replace it? Do we go to the next step of conversion of the fields into food? Do we go into process of understanding the whole process of the creation and bring that change for us to be there to create the condition of flow? The energy flow that we need, that we can produce what we said, the way we said it, and the way it should be done in the universe. I cannot send you to Earth to pick up a fish and chips or a kebab. Sorry, there are no meats and no breads in that corner of the universe. But you still can create what it creates as the emotion of it. And just measure it. When we started, we just about half an hour, 20 minutes before you came online, you saw how frequently it was changing, and you measure it now. What's the space gap? What's the time gap? And then we show it. This is a true power generation of power from what we call the field of universe. From where the universe sent us the energy, and now we managed not to convert it, but to apply it and use it the way it should be.